be a threat not just to Israel, but to the United States and really to world peace. Well, Dr. Hormoz Shariat is the Billy Graham of Iran. His ministry reaches hundreds of thousands of Muslims every day in Iran. In 1987, he co-founded the Iranian Christian Church and has been working to evangelize in Iran through satellite TV, leadership development, discipleship, internet communications, and the underground church. And we did a special internet broadcast this week on the persecuted church with Voice of the Martyrs, and Dr. Shariat was one of our guests. Dr. Shariat, welcome to the Washington Watch edition of Today's Issues with Tim Wildman and Tony Perkins.
Thank you so much for inviting me, allowing me to share.
Well, I just want to kind of start off with the status of kind of the expansion of Christianity in Iran. What you shared with me this week was quite eye-opening, that the gospel is spreading rapidly, primarily among a lot of young people there in Iran.
That's correct. Of course, the majority of the population are young, but the whole population of Iran have traveled the spiritual journey from in the 80s, ready, willing to give their lives for Islam, to the point today that they're saying Islam is not the solution, Islam is the problem. And that's just not just a few people, it's a majority, and it's a growing majority of people in Iran are rejecting Islam, and they're open to all kinds of other ideas, including Christianity. That's why I consider them very open to the gospel. And of course, research proves that, like Operation World Manual, that talks about different countries in the world, evaluates them, the economy, politics, and spiritual. In its latest edition, it has put Iran as the fastest growing evangelical population in the world. Iran is a nation ready to be changed. We are focusing too much on changing the government, and we are missing the opportunity to change the nation, the hearts of the people, because they are ready to do that. And the Lord has given us the opportunity, the tools like television, that we go in every home and share the gospel, and it's tremendous result. People call us, they come on the air, bravely pray to receive Christ, and we see amazing life changes, families, and people tell us that Jesus is appearing to them in visions, dreams, and miracles. So everything is working together to transform Iran for Jesus.
Are you Iranian?
Yes, I'm Iranian. I was born as a Muslim, grew up as a Muslim, and pretty much dedicated until I said this Islam is not really impacting my own life. Is it true or not? I don't have peace. I don't have joy. It's not changing anything. So I went through a spiritual journey myself, reading Quran and then reading the Bible and comparing, and I came to a conclusion that God is love, and which is a new concept for a Muslim, that God is love, and that because of his love, he sent Jesus to save me. Understanding that simple message and receiving Christ changed my life so dramatically that I dedicated my life to share the same message with others. And over the years, like even the television broadcasts over the last 10 years, we have seen, we have the names of over 22,000. This is not an estimate. These are the names. We have 22,000 and over of Muslim Iranian who have called us and made decisions for Christ. So Iran here is a great opportunity to change a nation, and my burden is that not many people know about it. The Christians in the West, all they hear is that Iran, the nuclear bomb, that they want to wipe Israel off the map, they want to destroy the great Satan, which is USA. All they hear is that news. They don't hear, even Christians, that here is a historical chance to impact the nation. And when you look at Jeremiah 49:38, talks about the Lord setting his throne in Iran, which is Elam in the Bible. That's a promise. So we know we are in a war, that we're going to be winners, and Iran is going to be a Christian country. Every sign shows that Iran is ready to have millions of Christians in it. And my invitation to all Christians, pray for Iran. But if you have a heart for Muslims to come to Christ, if you think this is a good strategy to reach the people of Iran, to change Iran, I want you to pray and join us in broadcasting to Iran and reaching out to the people of Iran. When I talk about the gospel, I'm not talking about the Western television where you entertainment and all that. I'm talking about a powerful message that goes into every home and changes every life. Let me share you a couple of stories, if I will.
Okay, let me reintroduce you to our listeners. You're listening to the radio program Today's Issues on the American Family Radio Network, the Washington Watch Edition. Tony Perkins and yours truly, Tim Wildman. We're here every Tuesday and Thursday. And right now on the phone with us is Dr. Hormoz Shariat. Is that how you pronounce your last name?
Yes.
Shariat. And he has a ministry trying to reach people in Iran for the Lord. And that's his homeland. And so he has a heart for the people and obviously a heart for the gospel. Anyway, go right ahead.
Yes, I just want to really encourage the listeners. This is not what you think. This is a historical opportunity to change the nation of Iran. Iran has the greatest threat to the peace in the world, but it also has the greatest opportunity to change the nation by the power of the gospel. And by the way, that's why there is persecution. When you look at the book of Acts, you see the persecution came because the Christians standing up and sharing the gospel all over the world. They accused Paul that he is changing the world upside down, and that was an accusation. And that's exactly what's happening in Iran. The Christians in Iran are growing, the number is growing, the impact is growing, and that's why there is persecution. That's why the government is alarmed in Iran to destroy this movement of Christianity. In their mind, they have pretty much destroyed their political opposition, so they feel safe in that area. But what is not safe is that Christianity is going out of their hand, and they cannot do anything about it. So they've been focusing the last 3 years, stepping up persecution to stop Christianity. But people are hungry. One of the signs of hunger is their Christian television. People will go to any extent to pay the price to have a satellite dish. I remember this man called me on the program, and he said, I lost my job a few months ago, and I was not able to even feed my family. So I prayed. I said, God, give me a job. Give me a job. I'm in trouble. I can't even feed my children. So the Lord, after 2-3 months of prayer, I got a job. Then he asked me, do you know what I did with my first paycheck? I said, well, of course you fed your family. He said, no, I bought a satellite dish. I said, what? Why did you do that? And he said, he made this statement that really shook me. He said, because my family needs hope first, bread second. And that's the situation in Iran, the hopelessness, the hunger. And people who come to Christ, they're not just easy believism, just say, oh, yeah, I raise my hand, I'm a Christian. They have to pay the price with their lives, and their lives are changed dramatically. Let me share you another story. This lady called me, and she said, 3 months ago I came to Christ, and I know what a horrible person I was. I was fighting with my husband. I was beating up my children. I was always angry, but 3 months ago my life was changed. I have a good relationship with my husband and my children. I said, hey, lady, that's a great testimony. Do you share that with others? She said, no. I said, why not? She said, because my husband does. He said, my husband's still a Muslim, but he goes to his friends and family members, and he tells them, hey, guys, I found a way. If you have a marriage problem, if you have a family problem, this is what you do. You get a satellite dish, you tune it to this Christian programming, and you make your wife watch it. It works. So you see
that doesn't work in the U.S. though. Only in Iran.
That's right. But these are just pictures of how lives are being changed and how people of Iran are hungry. And I encourage people, come and check us out. If you want to join us, Iran Alive Ministries, we have a 24/7 broadcast, and we can use all of those hours. I'm inviting people with good teaching, with good heart to reach Iran. Come and join us, and let's transform Iran. Let's not just change the government. Let's change the people. That's my suggestion.
Their website, again, is iranalive.com or .org?
No, IranAliveMinistries.org.
Okay, great. We'll encourage people to check that out. I just want to say, Dr. Shariat, I mean, I think this is very encouraging, especially when really the world, in many ways, is focused on Iran as a threat to world peace. And as you have laid out, and as the discussion we've had over the last couple of days about how, yes, the government is Islamic and pushing that agenda, but that's not what the people want, nor what they're pursuing. And they're open to the gospel. And if there was ever a time for us to be praying for peace in the Middle East, one of the key ways, beyond praying for the peace of Jerusalem, is praying for those in Iran to come to a saving knowledge of Jesus Christ, and ministries like yours that is taking the gospel to them.
That's so true. I was on a plane the other day, and I was sitting by a Jewish guy, and I was asked him what he's doing, and he told me. And then he said, "What do you do?" I said, my job is to turn your enemies to be your friends. And he was shocked. If you love Israel, that's another reason to share the gospel with Muslims. And here, Iran, the walls of Islam is coming down, and the cracks are in Iran. Iran is a blueprint for the defeat of Islam, and you will see it. It's happening. It's not by faith. It is already happening. And the next 5 years, you will see a great movement so visible that nobody can deny in Iran.
Dr. Shariat, I know you're not a politician, but at the same time, do you think that Ahmadinejad and the mullahs there in Iran, if they get a nuclear weapon, would use it against Israel or their neighbors, or would they not ever use it?
Well, it's very possible that they will use it because the theology they believe in encourages them to use it.
Mm-hmm.
The theology of Mahdi, their Messiah, will come back when they will stand up and they will bring chaos and war to the world. That's when their Messiah will come back. But they definitely will use it at least to bully and threaten the nations around them. And they feel that's a security, having a bomb, that they will not be invaded like Iraq, like Afghanistan. So that's why that bomb is so important for the future of that government.
That what is so important?
They're having an atomic bomb. It's high on their agenda to have that atomic bomb because it secures their future. It prevents U.S. from invading it, like Afghanistan or like Iraq. And also it will give them a weapon to bully the nations around them.
Well, President Obama is committed to the American people that he won't let that happen. So we can rest in that.
Well, I pray that will happen, and the sanctions have had positive effect, and that may work, but we don't know.